This is a special edition of FinScale, a podcast created by Solène Niederkorn, shedding light on innovation in finance, banking, and insurance.
Special edition Money 2020 in collaboration with the Payment Association EU. As a media partner covering the Money 2020 event, I teamed up with the Payment Association EU to bring you a series of captivating interviews. Get ready to dive into the world of payments and discover remarkable companies across different separate episodes. Gain valuable insights into their operations, their collaboration with the ecosystem, and their expectation from events like Money 2020. Enjoy the show! Michaelides, Director of Sales and Business Development Europe at BPC Banking Technologies. Hi everyone. Hi Michalis.
Good morning, Solène.
Great to meet you in real life at Money 2020. So BPC is a worldwide company. It's present in various countries, but I believe that not everyone knows you, despite the fact that you've been created like 20 or 30 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Since 96, actually. So, yeah, approaching 30 years.
Wow,
now.
Impressive. Could you please remind us what you do and how many people are working at BPC?
Well, first of all, nice to meet you and thank you for the opportunity to make ourselves a little bit better known to a wider audience. And so, greatly appreciating the opportunity to be here with you. Just to put a little bit of information behind who we are and what we do, BPC has been around since 96. BPC stands actually for Banking, Payments, Commerce. So that's actually what we do, the areas where we focus our business and our software. So we've been a software development company servicing the cards and payments industry since the beginning. Our platform is called Smart Vista. We have a number of different solutions based on that platform, which is quite modular.
Huge.
Yeah, quite indeed.
You said quite a few. It's a bit.
Indeed,
it's a lot.
It's huge, and it encompasses nearly 30 years worth of experience and learning and partnering with customers to bring in their products and services to the market. So, in a nutshell, if I can do a 2-minute elevator pitch, as you suggested, we cover the issuing and acquiring space in the world of payments. We have a very comprehensive Smart Vista solution that supports all types of card products, be those prepaid, debit, virtual, credit cards, charge cards, virtual cards, and tokenized products as the world is becoming a lot more digital these days. And we also have a fully fledged and very comprehensive acceptance and merchant management solution catering to the other side of the equation, the acquiring. Our customer base is largely or traditionally has been financial institutions, merchant banks, acquiring networks, PSPs, and even governments in terms of selling and promoting national switching networks across many countries in the world.
Mainly what, in Asia? Or I see that you have a lot of Asian clients.
We do. We have quite a global footprint and we have a really good presence, as you said, yes, in Asia, in South Asia, Asia Pacific in general. So markets like Vietnam and Philippines and Cambodia and Indonesia and Singapore, Middle East and Africa. Europe, obviously, we have quite a bit of presence across European markets, Latin America. And we have offices and locations in all these countries. So, and even beginning to build a client base in North America even. So, yeah, a very, very wide footprint, about 350 customers in more than 100 countries around the world.
And how many employees?
The number's changing constantly, but I believe we are at around 1,200 employees right now.
Okay.
Spread in multiple locations around the world.
Okay.
We are Swiss incorporated, so our base is in Zug, in Switzerland. If I have ever pronounced that correctly, I'm not sure. But yes, out of Zug and actually out of an office in the Netherlands, in Utrecht. And also, one of the things I need to point out is that in the last few years, we have actually evolved our Smart Vista platform to offer software as a service solutions out of our Budapest office. where we have quite significant operations, and we have an EU-based technical service provider setup based on our Smart Vista platform, and we provide a lot of services now into the world of fintechs.
That's what I wanted to dive deeper.
Exactly. So I was leading to that. Yes. So so the world is changing. The operating models are changing quite significantly, and the software as a service operating model is something that's gaining huge traction around the world, and we have definitely adapted to that. So we have, as I said, we have our own set of solutions that are very comprehensive. They cover all types of different needs and requirements of the customers, whether those are issuing or fraud monitoring or other type of digitization and tokenization. And so we are now offering those solutions as services, based on a software as a service model. And we base this out of our Budapest operating center, which is obviously providing this to the EU and the UK client markets, but actually providing this to a very global audience. And we have customers getting our software as a service solutions in as far away places in Asia and in Africa and in Latin America nowadays.
So you mentioned that you were starting collaborating and partnering with fintech players. You mentioned prior to this recording that you had incorporated a partnership with an Asian neobank, which has now reached 1 million users.
Correct. Yeah.
Could you take that use case? I don't know if you can mention which bank it is, but that would be interesting. But particularly describe, and I don't know if you're familiar specifically with that use case, but describe for that kind of actor and player, in what sense they use you, because you're not a core banking system, you're not a banking as a service solution. So how do they incorporate your solutions within their stack?
Yeah, I'll certainly. I'll give you a couple of examples, actually. And I think what this points out is to the flexibility that we have built into our platform so that we can cater to a very wide set of target audiences. So you mentioned the client in Asia. So Tonic Bank, which is the first digital bank that was licensed by the central bank in the Philippines. They won that license a couple of years ago. So they chose to work with us in launching the first digital offering into the huge country of the Philippines, 100 million people, 70% unbanked. So they launched an offering that was quite unique and enticing and targeting the unbanked audience. So they chose our platform to issue their credit card that has a lot of unique features like pulling together family accounts and things like that, so that they can compete against the legacy players in their market. They were quite successful. They pulled together a number of different solutions, so they chose their own core banking solution, and one of the reasons they chose to work with us was our flexibility to integrate with whatever other components they wanted to bring into the mix. So they launched the solution maybe a little less than 2 years ago, and as you mentioned earlier, they just very recently, the last few weeks, they crossed the 1 million threshold of customers from zero.
That's great.
And so that's a great case study for us, and that's a great example of how we can work with all sorts of different types of customers. So I can mention a couple more. I mean, we launched in that region. We launched a little more recently, less than a year ago, in a bank in Vietnam called Cake Bank, which is a collaboration with local bank and another transport company, if my memory serves me right. I may be wrong, so don't quote me on that. But it was a slightly different product, catering to a different audience. And again, it was the flexibility of our solution that kind of allowed us to bring this to life. It went live very, very quickly, and I hear quite successfully in the Vietnamese market. And to bring it even closer to our European location, we are working with another fintech in Germany called 14, who is focusing on servicing the remittance corridors within European markets, so helping their customers who are based in Germany sending money to their family and friends back in their home countries in certain locations within Europe. And it's, again, a good example of how flexible and easy to modify the solution is to cater to different use cases.
During Money 2020, who are the main players that you meet today and tomorrow? What is the category of players that you see the most? It's a
combination. I mean, Money 2020 is the biggest event in our industry. So it's a great gathering of lots and lots of people from the industry. So both aspiring fintechs, established fintechs, vendors, partners. So it's a number of different things that we want to get out of it. One of the things, as I said, again, going back to the complexity of the world of payments, obviously this is only growing and it's going to become more complex, on behalf of the continuous digitization that we see, the continuous regulatory frameworks that are changing and becoming a lot more stringent, and one needing to adapt to those changes and those requirements. Generally, the shifting landscape, it's quite complicated, and one needs to have an extensive network of partners to bring comprehensive end-to-end solutions to the market. We realize that, and we work with several different partners to provide tailor-made and flexible and comprehensive solutions to our customers. Okay. So one important element is meeting such partners, meeting our existing partners and getting to know new partners. And the other side, of course, is kind of linked to business development. So a lot of established and aspiring fintechs come here to learn more about the industry, as you said in the beginning. They meet with us, they meet with several other people, they get to understand what is out in the market, whether they can take that, tweak it and put it in their own markets. Fintech ecosystems are springing up everywhere these days. I mean, this is not an EU phenomenon or a North American phenomenon. There are fintech ecosystems in practically every country in the world these days. Yeah. And each one has to have its own local domestic flavor because it needs to cater to specific needs in that market. And no one really has exactly the same needs. They all have slightly different variations and deviations. So they come here, take a look at what's happening. They talk to us, they talk to our partners, and hopefully we'll get a few projects out of it and implement a new case study to be shared with you next year.
Okay, thank you. And last question, I was interested to see in what sense an association like the Payment Association in EU can help you and facilitate your business and relationship with the partners that you were mentioning earlier.
Actually, that's a great way to close up. I think the Payment Association is a great initiative, and we're very thankful to them and to Tipo for bringing this to life and establishing it. It's a great networking tool. It's a great way to create an environment and foster an environment where one can share thoughts and challenges and talk about experiences in a non-competitive, non-combative way, if you will. So, some of us are competitors to each other. Some of us are partners. Some of us have experiences in different markets and different industries. The Payment Association allows us to get together and listen to each other's experiences and listen to each other's challenges and understand how they cope, build relationships that are bringing new business ideas to life. And I think that has actually happened with us. So we are grateful for the opportunity to create this type of networking effects.
Thank you, Michalis.
Thank you.
See you soon in Luxembourg.
In Luxembourg, indeed.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you all for listening and sharing this moment with us. Don't hesitate to contact me on Twitter or LinkedIn to share your comments and reactions. You can also rate this episode on your favorite podcast platform. See you soon.